guy. Randall Godfrey is the inside guy. Jeremy Tooman goes for the inside guy, and no one blocks Sean Merriman.
And during that break, the guys upstairs, the assistant coaches, had every chance to look at every replay, and they said, we're not going to win it. So he saves the challenge. It's the turnover. San Diego on second down and 9. Tomlinson on a screen. Nothing happening, though, because number 92, James Harrison, second year out of Kent State, replacing the injured Clark Higgins, makes the stop. And that's the end of the first quarter. Here at Qualcomm Stadium, Pittsburgh nothing, San Diego nothing. And Monday Night Football resumes after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Matt Merton off the fist, a diving grab by Tavares in center field for out number 2. There aren't many he can't run down out there. Bell hits one diving stop by Zimmerman. Great throw at first, and he got it. Barrett's up to right center field. Reed Johnson over, makes the catch. Everybody has to hustle back, and Ortiz barely made it to second base.
3-2 the count. The runners go. Fastball, center field. Bernie Williams just looks at it, goes. Home run!
Second quarter about to begin in San Diego. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Sam Ryan. No score. Plenty of action, though, in the first quarter. And the second period begins with San Diego at its own 44-yard line. Third down and 10. And Breeze to take the snap out of the shotgun.
The Steelers have 6 defensive backs.
And there's one of them coming in from the side on the blitz. That was Ike Taylor who forced the issue. Fourth down and another punt coming up.
You know, it's funny, Marty Schottenheimer knew about that last night. He was saying that 75% of the time when they get in dime, they're going to blitz. So their protections are always going to be blitz protections against dime.
Mike Cyphers kicking toward Antoine Randall, who makes the fair catch at the 16-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger, and John touched upon it at the top, they wanted him to kind of manage the game last year. Part of that was he didn't throw that many passes. And you can go back to Pat Hayden, who was the quarterback before Roethlisberger, throwing fewer than 30 passes in each of his first 16 starts, or the equivalent of an entire regular season. It's a lap over here for Roethlisberger last year and then his first 3 games this season. But a lot of that has to do with the fact last year 15-1, and they weren't coming from behind. They had the lead, and they were protecting the lead, and they led the league in time of possession along the way. From the 16-yard line, that is tipped, and it's Donnie Edwards who comes away. No, incomplete. Could not come up with a football.
Donnie Edwards, for a middle linebacker, sure is a big play guy. He reminds me a lot of Teddy Bruschi, you know, and he makes these kinds of plays where he gets in pass lanes, catches balls, knocks balls up in the air, tips them, does these types of things. That's a Teddy Bruschi play right there.
Not on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll still be first down.
Meanwhile, lining up illegally was Hines Ward, number 86. So what it amounts to is there was no play, but it was so loud that the play continued after the whistle. Players didn't hear it, so that was all for naught. It's 1st and 15.
It was still a heck of a play by Donnie Edwards.
Yes, it was.
And had he kept control of it, then it would have been something they'd still be yelling about. In fact, the officials are over here explaining it to Marty Schottenheimer right now.
When you have, in effect, a false start, the whistle blows, but if the players don't hear it, they continue on, but there's no play.
Someone was probably telling Marty, you got to challenge that, you got to challenge that. he had to see, well, did we have a play that we could challenge? And no, you didn't even have a play.
Nope, no play, but he had to put the flag back in his pocket. First down and 15 now.
This is where it's tough being a visiting team. When you get down on your 10-yard line, the fans behind you always go nutso.
Now you've got Jerome Bettis in the backfield, seeing his first action of the season in this game. And there is Bettis, punishing runner up to the 16-yard line. Donnie Edwards makes the tackle. The Steelers tonight not scoring in the first period, and that's news because Pittsburgh had scored in 17 consecutive games in the first quarter, as had Mike Ditka's Bears back in '83 and '84. So that was the NFL record and remains the NFL record, as Pittsburgh with a point tonight. Could have had that mark all to themselves. They share it now with Chicago after a scoreless first quarter, and it's second down and 10. Roethlisberger, a little wobbly pass to the left side, and flags come in from every angle. Again, you've got 3 flags here as Drayton Florence contacts Antoine Randall L.
You see Drayton Florence, that move that he made when you take your hands and you put them back like this, you know, saying, I didn't do it, I didn't touch him. That means you did.
Pass interference, defense, number 29. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
This officiating crew believes in validation. That's the second penalty tonight. We've had 3 flags on the same call.
And you see Florence right there. The first, I mean, he just mauled him. But the first thing he did is he took his right hand and jammed it to the face mask and grabbed his face mask. And then he grabbed him again and then grabbed him again. I think they were trying to run a fade stop on that one.
20-yard penalty. Ball at the 36-yard line. Roethlisberger throws, and that is caught in amongst 4 San Diego Chargers as Hines Ward makes the catch to the Pro Bowl for the last 4 years. Hines Ward to the 48-yard line on the first down.
You know, any running back, you know, has to be able to block, and that's the first thing when your back has to be back here and help in protection, and that's what Jerome Bettis does right there. Here comes a guy, and he's in the lane. He's rushing in the lane. Roethlisberger wants to throw it, and Jerome Bettis goes boom, just takes him right out of there.
From the 48-yard line on first down. Bettis. 2 yards.
It was funny. Roethlisberger was telling us last night that last year he only knew in the pass pattern, as you see him reading the play here, and he's not sure exactly what this one is, but he would just read the play and then read the play in the huddle, and he would just know what one receiver did. And that would either be Plexico Burress or be Hines Ward. And he said he wouldn't look at him all the way. He'd look the other way and then just throw to one guy. That's all he knew. I said, well, what do you do now? He said, well, now I know what the defense is doing. I read the defenses.
Looking very confident in the first 3 games of the season. Second down and 7. Randall Godfrey makes the tackle. Quarterback's 2 best friends. Well, if you got a great rusher, the Steelers last year were second in the league in rushing, and the defense was number 1 in the league in fewest points allowed, and so they were able to control the ball for 34 minutes, grind it out, and of course 15-1 is the end result.
I think that's Steeler football and Bill Cowher football, and like he told Roethlisberger, you don't have to win, just don't lose it.
Third down and 5 at the 47-yard line. Ron Haynes, the third down back, is in the game. The Chargers show blitz, and they're going to come. And Roethlisberger is going to throw, and it is caught by Ward, and there is no whistle yet, and he gets up, and he is going to go all the way to the end zone. 47 yards off the blitz to Ward, who made the catch, was almost contacted well upfield, gets up and goes to the end zone.
You know, that's why they always say, you know, who's the toughest wide receiver in football? It can be this guy right here, Hines Ward. I mean, he's playing with a pulled hamstring. He makes a move like that. The play's not over. He makes another move and another move, and then right here he smells the end zone. There is one tough guy.
And you're going to have a challenge here because Schottenheimer took a look. The guys upstairs. And what they're going to challenge here is contact. Was Ward contacted? And all you have to do is get a fingernail on him. He goes down. And when he's down, and that's the issue right there. Quentin Jamber.
Ruling on the field that the player was not down by contact.
Now that's going to be very hard to distinguish, but again, the call on the field was that he was not down. We'll see if it stands when we come back.
This October, ESPN goes spanning the globe to bring you the world of sports. The Major League Baseball season heads into the playoffs and finishes off the grand season with the World Series. You'll have a ringside seat with ESPN's Friday Night Fights. The elite clubs of La Liga continue the pitch battles with Spanish football. The road to Super Bowl 40 continues with the modern-day gladiators battling it out in the NFL on ESPN. The great players of the Serie A vie for the vaunted Scudetto as the Italian Serie A continues. Sit in with the high rollers, where you have the best seat at the table for the 2005 World Series of Poker. The rough and rugged play of Dutch football continues showcasing the best clubs from Holland. The UEFA Champions League continues the quest for the ultimate prize of European football with full-day coverage of Match Day 3. Great action all month this October on ESPN.
It's our feeling the touchdown will stand. As we take a look again, two things to keep in mind. The contact has to be established after Ward has possession of the ball. In other words, it is a legal catch. So right there is where he has possession. We'll also see another thing, that the towel of Ward gets contacted by Jammer, but a towel is not part of the uniform. So even though Jammer appears to touch the towel, as you can see right there, even if he did, that would not count as being down by contact.
And the other thing that Marty Schottenheimer is going to lose is his patience with his defense, because, you know, after Hines Ward got up, that was some poor tackling. I mean, whether Jammer touched him or not, he didn't touch him.
The play,
but the tackling was terrible.
The defensive player hit the foot on the receiver at the 33-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10. Pittsburgh at the 33.
Wow.
San Diego is not charged a timeout.
Well, I'm surprised because we didn't see that when we're looking at the replays during the commercial. Take a look. Now, all right, does Jammer touch his foot? He does touch his foot, but at what point does he touch his foot? He touches it there. Now, does Ward have possession? Is it a completion at that point is the question. Well, Triplett's going to say yes, and I'm sure the Steelers will look at it and say you're crazy, that he doesn't have possession until he's finished rolling with the ball. So it's a 14-yard gain instead of a 47-yard gain, and a big break for the Chargers.
Well, Marty is going to be very happy with himself.
Yep. Bettis is the running back here. The ball is at the 33-yard line. Roethlisberger. Flag again. Another flag. And Roethlisberger, gain of about 12. You're going to get a hold here on Jeremy Tooman for sure. And there's another flag down for maybe the same infraction or something else.
I mean, Jeremy Tooman held right in front of the referee, and that was the block or the hold that let Ben Roethlisberger get to the outside.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding, number 84 of the offense.
That's Tooman.
We also have the defensive hold, number 76. Those penalties will offset. Repeat, 1st down.
That's Jamal Williams. The jaw, the gum, everything's going tonight.
Here's you're going to see Tooman's hold right here. So he starts to block inside, and then just as Roethlisberger gets to the outside, he grabs him. I'm not sure. Here's Jamal Williams in there, number 76. I don't know what he holds. Whoa, where did that come from?
It's been a flag-happy first 19 minutes.
Yeah, but that one came out of someone's imagination.
Yeah. When it's flag-happy, there are normally some imaginary calls. This one is not imaginary. This is real. And Antoine Randall takes it all the way to the 12-yard line. Tackled there by Baoju.
Yeah, the thing you have to like about these Steeler receivers is the run after the catch. I mean, Randall is one of those guys that, you know, is a kick returner, and then when he catches the ball as a receiver, right now he becomes a kick returner, and he starts making those punt return type moves, and those are the guys that are going to get you big plays.
Roethlisberger started 0 for 2. He's now 7 for his last 7.
He got knocked perpendicular on that one.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line. Bettis and Jerome to the 7-yard line, just plowing and chugging and rumbling. Those are the words to describe his whole career.
And that's what he does. And the closer the Steelers get to the goal line, the better Jerome Bettis is. I mean, this is the guy that when you get down there in the goal line, he is going to be in there running, whether Willie Parker's the starter or Deuce Staley's playing, whoever's playing. When you get down in this area, that running back is going to be Jerome Bettis.
Certain Hall of Famer, because when the only guys in front of you are Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, and Curtis Martin, you're going to Canton. Second down and 5 at the 7-yard line. Play fake. Roethlisberger throws, and it's nearly picked off. That was Jammer with the coverage on the play, intended for Hines Ward in the corner.
They had 5 linebackers in there. They were going to give him coverage. And you see Jammer is outside. He's a corner up on this side, but they have double coverage on Hines Ward. They have him inside outside. And so he just waited outside. But look at Tooman here. And then he looked there, because you know when you have double down there, you're going to have single or maybe free someplace else.
Third down and 5. Blitz coming, and Roethlisberger saw it, and he'll run into the end zone. Touchdown. Pressure coming from the left side of the defense. Around the corner, read it perfectly, and away he went for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was number 29, Drayton Florence. He was coming, and he was coming right into Ben Roethlisberger's face. See, from his right, and he took a peek out there, and he looked and he saw it, but this was an organized run. This is a lead draw, and this is one of the things that they have. They have 2 runs for Ben Roethlisberger. One is a bootleg type run, and that one was a lead draw, lead quarterback draw.
Jeff Reed for the point after. After the Steelers had a touchdown taken away on a successful Schottenheimer challenge, they get into the end zone anyway. It takes them 5.5 minutes. They go 84 yards in 9 plays. 9:14 left in the half. Pittsburgh takes the lead, 7-0.
Each NFL team starts a game with 11 players on the field. The game begins with a kickoff, and each squad's special teams unit participates in this play. If the team receiving the kick does not score on that first play and does not turn the ball over upon the play ending, they then begin their first offensive possession. At this time, each team substitutes its players, bringing in their 11 offensive or defensive starters. Typically, each team has 3 separate and unique 11-man units that make up the team: the special teams, the offense, and the defense. The total roster size in the NFL is limited to 45 players. Substitutions are limitless and allowed during a stoppage in play.
And that's the way it started tonight. 7-0. The Chargers wearing their old, what they call collegiate blue uniforms. A little blast from the past. Throwback action tonight as the Pittsburgh Steelers kick off here in the comes out of the end zone. Darren Sproles brings it back out to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Sean Moreeeee. And Breeze and company go to work for Schottenheimer's gang. 7-0 Steelers.
This October, ESPN goes spanning the globe to bring you the world of sports. The Major League Baseball season heads into the playoffs and finishes off the grand season with the World Series. You'll have a ringside seat with ESPN's Friday Night Fights. The elite clubs of La Liga continue the pitch battles with Spanish football. The road to Super Bowl 40 continues with the modern-day gladiators battling it out in the NFL on ESPN. The great players of the Serie A vie for the vaunted Scudetto as the Italian Serie A continues. Sit in with the high rollers, where you have the best seat at the table for the 2005 World Series of Poker. The rough and rugged play of Dutch football continues showcasing the best clubs from Holland. The UEFA Champions League continues the quest for the ultimate prize of European football with full-day coverage of Match Day 3. Great action all month this October on ESPN.
San Diego has the ball, and that's news because they've had the ball only 5 minutes, and Pittsburgh's had it 15 minutes. And thus, Breeze is 3 out of 6 for 5 yards. Tomlinson's only carried twice and has caught one. And Gates, the great tight end, has not made a catch. So that offense has yet to get on track. Pittsburgh has kept possession of the ball, and they lead 7-0 from the 25 on first down now. They start with Tomlinson. Only a yard on his third carry. James Farrier made the hit.
You know, it's interesting in talking to Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator of the Steelers. He was talking about how do you play Antonio Gates, and he says we play him as a wide receiver. And you see that that's what they're doing. Playing him as a wide receiver mean that you have a corner on him. And on that last one, they had a corner and the safety on him. So they're treating him like a wide receiver.
Fake toss, and Breeze throws, and that is a one-hopper that is incomplete, intended for Keenan McCardell at the age of 35, 14th year. Third oldest receiver in the league, and McCardell has already scored 5 touchdowns this season.
And I think that's what they have to do. You know, that the Steeler defense is really set up to stop, you know, Tomlinson and to stop Gates, and I think they have to go to McCardell. I think that has to be part of it now. McCardell on one side, Eric Parker, get the ball to those guys if they want to double Gates.
So a 4-man front and blitzing coming. And Breeze hangs in there and throws, and that's caught for a first down as Eric Parker makes his first catch of the night. Eric Parker, their leading receiver among wideouts last season, 4th year out of Tennessee. They moved the chains on an 11-yard gain.
It was interesting. Drew Brees was talking the other day about Eric Parker, and he says, you know, he never gets mentioned, but he runs better routes than anyone. And if you look at when I need a pass on third down, I'll look to Eric Parker a lot of the times. That time he just ran a hook. But you can see Drew Brees look to one side and then come back and find his 88.
Found him, needed him on third down from the 37-yard line. And Tomlinson is going to get bottled up at the line of scrimmage. James Farrier, the linebacker, making the hit right there.
Stop by James Farrier.
You know, in a way, John, through the years, if Breeze continues to play the way he did last year and thus far this season, Tomlinson has, you know, the kind of career that everybody expects him to have. He's already in the process of that. And Gates develops. They'll have their own form of the triplets here.
Well, you know, and you'll think of the Dallas Cowboys, you know, Troy Aikman handling it to Emmett and throwing it to Michael. You could get the same thing here. Hand it to LaDainian and throw it to Antonio. But a tight end is easier to take away sometimes than a wide receiver.
Breeze under pressure, running away from Porter, and then lofting it for his tight end. And that's why Antonio Gates, part of the reason last year he had a phenomenal year and set an NFL record for touchdowns by a tight end with 13. He's a former basketball player, and he went up and got the rebound, 16 yards.
Yeah, and that's what a quarterback on the run could do. See, one, he can buy time, and two, with his left hand, he can direct. So he's directed Antonio Gates. I'm outside. I have a little more time. You take it up. And Antonio Gates, if you just throw it up, he is going to come down with it.
Looks like an entry pass into the low post. Ball at the 47. Again, the Chargers going without a huddle. Play clock down to 3. And they give it to Tomlinson. He's still looking for running room to the 44. And John, let's take a look at Gates and the similarities between the two sports.
And that's what Drew Brees is talking about. You know, that he has those basketball-type moves, and he's very good at the goal line. He's very good at using his body. If you just throw it up, he knows how to use his body. And he's going to get the ball. He said he jumps and he attacks balls. But that's not bad, just using your body either to get position. But, you know, those are the extra things that Antonio Gates does. Great comparison. Even had that crossover move in both sports. 2nd and 7, and here he is again. They get tackled with forward progress just outside the 40-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and 3. Well, we know Antonio Gates didn't play college football, so you know, if you say what's the last thing you did before you came into the NFL, and that was play basketball, those are the moves that you have to start with. 3rd down. Call it a short 4 from the 40-yard line, and that is caught out in the flat by Sim Osgood, and that's enough for a 1st down. Tackled by Ike Taylor. We check in with Sam Ryan.
And Al, you've been talking about Antonio Gates, some impressive credentials in college basketball. 1st team All Mid-American Conference his senior year at Kent State. He told me the one thing he brings from the basketball court to the football field, hand-eye coordination, his ability to see the ball and catch it. But he says he's still struggling. He's still learning every day. He said sometimes he has trouble with coverage, gentlemen.
Antonio Gates really came into his own last season. It came out of nowhere. I mean, he was maybe the biggest surprise in the league, along with Roethlisberger. Brees throws, and that's incomplete, intended for Keenan McCardell. And Keenan looks around and he said, come on, man, I'm in league 14 years. Where's that flag? And Drew Brees was saying the same thing in the other end. This is an interesting thing, Al, what the Chargers are doing here. They're not going back and huddling up. Here's the ball right here, and you can just see that they're huddling up right on the ball. Now, that does 2 things. It gets them to the line of scrimmage quicker. It lets Drew Brees look and read the defenses. And then it lets them, if you have confusion like you have right now, it gives you a little more time before that ball has to be snapped. You know, at the huddle, they run the play clock all the way down, and then Brees hangs in there, and that is tipped, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by James Harrison, who looks like Edwin Moses on the run back, and brings it all the way back out to the 44-yard line. James Harrison taking the spot of the injured Clark Higgins, will be out for about a month or more. And Harrison's 2nd year out of Kent State with the pick off the deflection, and Pittsburgh will have the ball near midfield. And we were just talking about Antonio Gates and how he uses his body and how he uses his hands and how he attacks the ball. The last guy that you would think that one would go through his hands on like that is Antonio Gates. That was some play there, wasn't it? Wild. And there's a flag down at the end of this play.
After the play is over. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Number 68 on the offensive team. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
So the penalty against San Diego, against Chris Gielman, with 4.5 to go. 7-0 Pittsburgh.
The 1986 Indianapolis 500 will always be bittersweet for Bobby Rahal. With team owner and longtime friend Jim Truman dying of cancer, Rahal ran the race of his life. Running 2nd on lap 198, Rahal passed Kevin Cogan going into turn 1 and sealed the win by running the fastest lap of the race on lap 200. The celebration would be tempered with sadness as Truman would succumb to cancer 1 month later.
Well, if you did, you got 3 points tonight. 7-0 Pittsburgh. Willie Parker is the running back. The ball is at the 49-yard line. After the interception, after the penalty, the ball is at the 41 of San Diego following the penalty, and Roethlisberger has great protection. Looks all over the field, but everybody's covered. Secondary does its work. Keith Miller was the intended receiver. Flag down again. Well, we started with a flag on the opening run back of the game, and we've had a steady stream every play since. Go back to the interception after the call is made here.
Yeah, you're going to see Troy Polamalu really make a block on Antonio Gates.
After Gates had deflected the ball, and it turned out to be an interception by Harrison.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 29 of the defense. Foul occurred away from the play. The 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Drayton Florence. 29. Here it is. Oof.
Well, you know, they're doing that all over the place. I mean, that's the thing. Randall Ellis saying, hey, I'm a receiver. I didn't do anything to him. You can't be doing that. But there's been some hitting in the first half of this game.
Hitting a lot of penalties, and it's 71 yards in penalties against San Diego already. They have more penalty yards than total yards. 71-52. Parker. And Parker knifes through the San Diego defense like it's non-existent, and it's a first down at the 11-yard line.
And they have him going now, and you know, that's balance. I mean, you see Parker as he comes through there, he gets down low. We know that he has speed, but watch how he puts that left hand down to get balance. He's going to hit this. It's a little delay here. Now, right here, he starts to lose his balance, puts his left hand down, and bounces off and gets about 5 more yards. Wouldn't you like to do that? Just be able to run like that, get your hand down, and keep yourself up for 5 more yards.
At our age, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
At any age, I would have loved to have done that.
And Dan Kreider is going to carry the ball to fullback. Tackled by Edwards. Let's go back now and take a look at the interception on the pass intended for Gates and picked off by Harrison.
We're talking about the block of Troy Polamalu here. We see the ball goes through Gates, and then you're going to see, you know, a great move here by James Harrison. You never used to see linebackers do that, but look at that block there that Polamalu put on Gates. He hit him so hard that he knocked his helmet off, and he made the spit come right out of Bill Cowher.
Didn't it? We've seen that before. Second down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Pressure. Look at Roethlisberger escaping a tackle. He's already run for a touchdown, and close to another here. He gets the first down. Breaks out of a Steve Foley tackle, and that's the one thing about Roethlisberger, and John talking about it at the beginning of the show, how big and how strong he is and how he sheds tacklers.
Yeah, I talked to him about that last night, and he says what he does, he never gives the guy his chest. He always gives him a shoulder, and that's what he did to Foley there. But again, he's so big. I mean, he weighs 252 pounds. He gives the shoulder right there, and as he gives the shoulder, he takes the chest away, and that gets into a spin. And then he comes out of the spin, and you got a 252-pound guy running for the goal line.
And he's got a first down. It'll be first down at the 2-yard line. With 2:41 to play. And Roethlisberger had the benefit of, in effect, a timeout without taking a timeout with the measurement. He went over to talk to Cowher. He and Bill get on the same page, along with Ken Wisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, and it's first and goal.
Please reset the play clock to 32 seconds. 32 seconds on the play clock.
This is a place that, you know, you see Jerome Bettis here in the huddle right now, and this is the place you would expect to see Jerome Bettis run. When you get down inside like this and you have a first down, you can pound it 3 times, and I'll guarantee you Jerome Bettis will get a touchdown.
They're resetting the game clock. They're resetting the play clock. The ball, when the clocks are ready, the clock will start. Just stop at the moment for the measurement while they fix the clocks, and then they'll wind it.
Well, Bill Cowher, you know, they don't pass a lot. The Steelers, when they get ahead, and he says, you know, he gets a point in a game where he just shuts down the passing game. And I think that's why sometimes you look at the stats, especially in the second half, they won't throw the ball. If they get a couple touchdown leads, it's going to be a running game.
He's great at protecting the lead. First and goal from the 2. Bettis. Jerome gets about half that yardage before he gets mugged at the 1-yard line.
The Chargers are thinking the same thing, aren't they? That, you know, they get first down here, they're just going to hand it to Jerome Bettis, so they just pack that middle. And when you get a guy like Jamal Williams inside, that's a tough thing to do. See, they got all three covered here, and those guys get down and they get penetration. So yeah.